Welcome to the Sci-Fi Diner podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Scott Herzog.
And good evening, I'm Miles P. McLaughlin.
I'm Chrissy Raffensperger.
And I'm Dave Sellers.
And today is Talk Like a Pirate Day. Aye, matey.
That's not how you talk like a pirate. You need
That's
like a
how I
tutorial.
talk like a pirate.
Nar! That is not how you talk like a pirate, you landlubber.
Arr, you land lovers. All right.
Like a scurvy dog.
That's right.
Jim lad.
Yeah. So, so it's great to see you guys again. It's great to record. And, we're excited. We're recording this episode. We have plans for the next episode. And if you want to be on the watch with us, we're going to be rewatching Event Horizon, which is a mashup of horror / sci-fi, perfect in time for Halloween.
It's a great movie.
Not my favorite movie.
Oh,
I have never seen it, but I'm excited to.
Only because I fast forwarded through 45 minutes because it was that scary for me when I watched it.
But how old were you?
Probably tame in today's. Well, so I was an adult. I was like 26, 27, but that's 25 years ago. So I mean,
okay, so like you've lived through a pandemic. The presidential elections themselves are far scarier than whatever is in sci-fi. We have AI going on.
I know, raising kids. I mean, everything, right?
I mean, at this point, you're gonna be like, why was I even scared of this? It's not,
You might be sufficiently desensitized.
Yeah,
yes.
I think so.
I
It's
think
the
you'll
kids
be
that
okay.
did it.
It was definitely the children.
Definitely.
Specifically Kiefer.
Yeah, definitely Kiefer. He's sitting right across from me right now, staring at me.
Does he still have that snake?
No, he killed that.
Oh, that's sad. Although I think
Well, if he would have fed it.
it's not that difficult.
Oh, I'm itching to jump across this table and strangle you.
Oh, now he's threatening his father.
Oh, absolutely.
A boa constrictor, you could probably threaten him, but you don't have a snake anymore, so.
It's true, yeah. Yep, way to go, Jed. Get shit out.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's. Miles? What is on the Magna Carta tonight for this podcast?
Yeah, that's not even how you properly use that term.
Stay tuned to the end of this program. You'll catch up to this, what we're talking about, folks.
All right, go ahead.
Twitching already. You can't go back.
We will talk about what's going on in our sci-fi world. We have an Aquaman 2 trailer that's out. A writers and actors strike update. And I saw an interesting article on Collider, the 10 sci-fi movies everyone should see at least once.
Nice.
All right.
And our Bonnie Gordon interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Sounds good. Well, let's delve into our sci-fi world where we talk about what we've been watching over the past couple of weeks. And Miles, why don't you start us out tonight?
All right, so I got the bug again. I started writing another Star Trek Voyager short story novel that will probably never see the light of day because Pocket Books doesn't have that program anymore where amateur writers can submit stories. But I had the bug. I felt like writing something, and it was a nice little creative outlet. That's how Dayton Ward got started. Was doing the Star Trek Strange New Worlds, not to be confused with the show, but with the books back in the early 2000s. I watched the first time Kick-Ass on Netflix.
Ah,
Oh,
nice.
Good movie. Good movie.
I remember that movie.
Yeah. I felt sorry for the kid. He obviously had a terrible bad cold and dry skin. So poor boy was suffering in that movie.
Does it hold up? Because I watched it right when it came out, so I'm kind of curious as to how it is now.
Right, because that's what, 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, I would think
least.
so.
2010, yeah. So
Oh goodness, I'm so old.
that's
I was like, oh, that came out when I was in college. I'm like, oh, that's so old.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it. As far as it holding up, I don't know. With some people's modern day sensibilities, there might be some pushback on that. That would be that'd be an interesting rewatch. Should be like, would people take offense to some things in that movie that it's a very violent movie. So maybe
It is, if I recall, and
you have a little girl, just killing people left and right. I mean, granted, they're the bad guys, but she does it very violently. So I don't know, if that movie was made today, how people would feel. So there would probably be some pushback about that.
yeah, I would imagine so. That was right when Iron Man came out, or shortly thereafter. So it's interesting because like it's this like I don't want to say like a mock superhero movie, but it kind of was a critique of superheroes before it even like really ballooned into Marvel today. So maybe at some point we'll have to revisit that movie because
Yeah,
now I'm curious.
Oh, and you can't.
I would love to talk to you guys.
Oh yeah, especially when you can't, forget the magnificent performance of. Oh damn it, Nicolas Cage, especially when he's on fire.
Well, I mean every performance. Yes, I mean Nicolas Cage. I mean, can't go wrong with that.
No, not at all. It's not crazy or anything. Yeah, that was a good movie, Miles. That was a good movie.
Yeah. So I don't know why I never watched it, but I finally watched it a couple weeks ago. Really enjoyed it. I'm enjoying Ashoka on Disney Plus. I know it's not getting a lot of love with some people, but I'm liking it. It's something different, and they're in space a lot more often, which is kind of cool. And Ahsoka does some cool things in space with the lightsaber. Watching. I am watching Star Trek Lower Decks on Paramount Plus. It is silly and ridiculous, but they did some cool things on there. I am reading the Time Patriot book Part 3 by Kim McGee and Martha McGee. I finished that book up. I am currently reading A Drive Through Time by Andre. I'm going to pronounce the last name badly, but it's spelled Sago. So that's what I'm reading right now.
Good. Awesome. Chrissy, let's hear about what's going on in your sci-fi world.
Well, I finished The Once and Future King,
Okay.
which I really don't know how to describe the book because at first it's very like silly and almost like Monty Python-esque retelling of the Arthurian legend, and then it gets like kind of serious in the middle and then ends on like a very like philosophical explanation and exploration of like mankind and like the different political like options that we have, and it's a very like post World War II viewpoint, and it's very like advanced thinking for the age, but also still very rooted in the time period that it was written. So some of the stuff is like very racist, which is like just like nails on chalkboard kind of thing. You're like, oh, don't say that, especially not in a British accent. Oh, like just no.
It's always better in a pirate accent.
Yar. Tis much better, mateys, in a pirate accent. Everything. Well, no, not everything. You can't make racist stuff sound good. No accent.
No, true. Fair enough.
There's just not a way of saying it.
There is a line. There's a line.
There's a line. It's right here. Don't go over it. So, but I really liked it, and I can see why a lot of people think of it as a classic fantasy novel that you should read, and just a hallmark of British literature, not just because of the time period it was written, but also the subject matter and like the mindset and the exploration of ideas. So I do recommend listening to an audiobook rather than reading it, if for no other reason than the narrator is hysterical and very expressive. Sometimes you go with audiobooks, it's just like, you could take it or leave it. But this was a really good narrator. The other thing I finished just about the trilogy of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. So that's what I did. I also obviously was playing World of Warcraft, and I started watching Ahsoka because I knew that it would be a homework assignment eventually. And then my friend was asking me to explain Wheel of Time to her, explain the Wheel of Time series to you, because I don't even know what all the things that they got wrong are. So I had to watch like the first 2 or 3 episodes of that in order to explain to her what they were talking about, and then also explain to her why it was all wrong. So I must love her a lot to put myself through that. But anyways. And obviously it's Talk Like a Pirate Day, so I'm dressed kind of piratey, and I have been known to talk piratey, but I'm not going to subject Dave to any more pirate talk because I think he will come to my house and strangle me if I keep it up too much.
You're a scholar and a saint.
No,
That I be, sir. That I be.
That might be.
Fucking ruined it.
For all those
Now we
times
can
you
get-
subjected me to that awful.
We can get
Dude.
Dave to swab the deck now. Hey.
That's you're like, it's literally nails and chalkboards. I don't know what you're doing, but that's not how you talk like a pirate. I will send you the
Talk like a pirate
tutorial.
Oh, great.
There's a tutorial.
Yeah, maybe you can give us one right here now. Just kidding, don't. Hey.
Nar, I don't think I'd be doing that.
Oh Lord.
I don't want to close your spawns.
Oh Lord.
All right, Dave, how about you? What's going on in your science fiction world?
I am loving Ahsoka. I hate that there's only 3 episodes left. But yeah, loving Ahsoka. I'm really enjoying Lower Decks again. I'm glad that's back for another season. I did start rewatching DS9 because why not? I caught an episode again the other night while I was sleeping, and it was one I never remembered. Didn't remember watching or anything like that before. No, I did, but didn't remember it. So I was like, I got to go back and rewatch it again. So as I've been doing that, I've also been jumping back into Star Trek Online a bit more. And I have been working on writing a backstory for a character that I'm going to be using in a D&D group that I just got invited to, starting in a couple of weeks. I'm coming in kind of mid-campaign. They're bringing me into it. So, enjoying writing my character's backstory and having a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. And this weekend we played what? Black Clover? What was
Black
it called?
Orchestra.
Black Orchestra.
Yes.
Black
That sounds
Orchestra.
interesting.
It was
It's
fan.
fun.
We there's a plot to assassinate Hitler, which we
I'm already on it.
which we did one time, and then the other time we were called out. So
Yes.
and in jail a lot apparently.
Yes.
But it was fun. It's a fun cooperative. If you like cooperative games, it's great. It's fantastic, and it's totally enjoyed it. And so thanks, Dave, for bringing that in.
Oh, yeah.
But
I played a couple solo rounds of it since then, sitting at home. And
good.
It's,
Oh, so you can play it cooperatively or solo?
yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier solo. Although,
So
I don't know, dice rolling card draws really helped me out those 2 times as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know to say 3, right? Not 3. When you're in Germany
What?
trying to assassinate Hitler.
Oh, no,
You hold up your
apparently.
thumb, your pointer, and your middle finger to say 3 in Germany. 3 beer. Drei beer. You don't hold it up like this.
Why?
Well, because 1, you'll be counted as American. You'll be quickly and subsequently, killed.
Not today. Back in Germany.
Okay.
Back in Nazi Germany.
Oh, good. Yeah.
That was slightly an Inglorious Bastards reference, but also in the theater, I immediately knew before they even started shooting and killing everyone in the scene. I was like, oh crap, and I turned to my boyfriend at the time. I was like, he just said 3, and she should have done this instead. And then instantaneously, the whole thing just starts blowing up. And I was like, see, I told you, it's not how you say 3 in German. It's very important if you're going to try to assassinate Hitler.
The things you learn at the Sci-Fi Diner podcast.
Yeah.
How to talk like a pirate and how to assassinate Hitler. very important details.
Yes. You know, there's other skills, but these skills are important skills for life.
Well, you know, if you ever build a time machine and you're trying to go back and assassinate Hitler, like you can't just like build the time machine and go. Like you're gonna need to infiltrate the Third Reich and all that other stuff.
Absolutely.
So you need to know these things.
I actually read a time travel novel series of them killing Hitler and seeing what happened, and it was actually a bad idea that they killed Hitler, because what ended up happening was, as bad as Hitler and the Nazis were, the Soviets were worse, and so they kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but they kind of
filled the gap.
That they kind of restrained and weakened the Soviet Union enough so they couldn't have been a worse superpower that they became later on. So it was just, I don't know if it's wrong or right, but it was an interesting exploration of, okay, if we do this, what might happen? So there's no good way to.
Good intentions can lead to negative consequences.
Yeah.
Very interesting idea.
This is why we don't
like
screw
reading...
with the timeline.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, J.J. Abrams. We don't screw with the
Unless
timeline.
It's a Kelvin timeline, and then you can screw with it all you want.
When you create your own timeline, you can do whatever you want.
That's right.
That is so true.
The other thing I did, probably the other two significance, is I watched Ahsoka twice. Once by myself, and then once when I got Kiefer to watch it. Just got caught up tonight until 9 o'clock.
Now, did you and he see Rebels and the Clone Wars cartoons?
So I'm working my way currently through Rebels. I watched most of the Clone Wars.
Okay.
I don't think I finished Rebels, and so I'm looking forward to continuing to work my way through it. But episode 5, man, that's where the tears were at. It was a tearjerker. I really did enjoy it, and even watching it a second time, I got a little bit teary-eyed watching it. So it was pretty fantastic. Also working my way through Wheel of Time. I'm about a half episode behind, and so I'm overall enjoying it. I am wondering if someone who wasn't familiar with the series, how they would feel about it. Because there are some things I'm watching saying, I know where this is going because I've read all 13 books, or 14 books. But if you didn't read that, I'm like, maybe there's, these people from across the sea that just showed up. Oh, okay.
So my friend Elise is watching it completely fresh, and she's like, "Oh, this is such a great series. I really like it. This all this stuff." And I'm just like, "Elise, really?" She's like, "No, it's a really good series." I'm like, "It's butchering the books." I'm like,
but again, this is one of the curses. This is why watching Foundation is so refreshing, because I have so much distance from the books. I don't even remember what's going on.
Yeah. And, so most of the time I won't watch something if I've read the books. I just don't like it most of the time, because I'm just like, they're just not going to do it right. So I mean, Game of Thrones started out being fairly, following the books fairly well, and then it just completely veered off and jumped the shark, and I don't know what they were on about. Expensive fan fiction, if you ask me. Which I guess technically it had to be, because the books weren't published or whatever. But still, at a certain point, you may as well just go onto like one of those fan fiction sites and just start reading those for all the live action stuff is worth.
Yeah.
Which some people like it.
Yeah, I think that's about it. So it's Ahsoka and Wheel of Time. Those are the main things. Still reading through the Dresden Files and enjoying it. And yeah, there we go.
Cool.
Well, let's move into other news. So do we want to watch his trailer?
Oh, yeah.
So this is the Aquaman 2 in the Lost Kingdom, which I
Mhm.
saw had dropped but didn't watch yet. So I'm watching this with fresh eyes. And so let's play this and then talk about it.
4 years ago, I was basically unemployed. A wanderer with no home. But now, I'm a husband and a father. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know how you did it, Pops.
My job was a little less stressful than yours.
Oh yeah, I finally got a job. I'm the king of Atlantis. 500 million people from every known species in the sea call this place home. But that doesn't mean they all like me.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear. I'm gonna murder his family and burn his kingdom to ash.
He must be stopped, or a global meltdown is imminent.
I think I know someone who might be able to help us. Ooh, you look rough.
Good job, little brother. High five. Do not call me brother. I cannot believe you let this happen.
Yeah, well, I hate this job.
True king builds bridges, right?
True king builds bridges.
We need to find Manta.
He's different now. He's stronger than before.
It's the Black Trident. During King Atlan's time, there were 7 kingdoms. The Trident was a curse upon them all.
The Trident's dark magic is spreading.
He means to end the bloodline.
I don't know what lies ahead, but we can't leave our children in a world without hope.
You're not as bad at this as you think. If you lead, the 7 kingdoms will follow.
All right. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Coming out this Christmas. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's a superhero movie. Like,
It's a DC superhero movie.
Yeah.
That's the thing. DC has a lot of work to do because they've had some major duds this past year.
To be fair,
To be fair.
I would argue that the first Aquaman movie, besides Wonder Woman, was probably one of my favorite of the DC movies. Like I did enjoy that, and so
I do remember a lot of people saying it was a good DC movie.
right.
The first Aquaman made over $1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
So the first movie killed it.
Teachers make that all the time. Yeah, no, I hear you. I think that and so I think there's a certain amount. So it's difficult to get a feel for the movie because there's so much spectacle going on in this 2-minute trailer, right? This 2 to 3 minute trailer, which obviously the point is to kind of call us in. But I'm hoping we get a little bit of depth as well.
Despite my headphones leading you all to think that I like a lot of flashy lights and spectacle in my stuff, anymore. I see tons and tons of spectacles, and like I'm internally going, "Oh, that's nice. We've seen this before."
I know. Well, even your response, Chris, when we got out of it. Oh, another superhero movie. Says something about maybe the fatigue of the amount of superhero movies. Like I remember like what Batman in the day when I was growing up was like the Tim Burton Batman, and it was Clooney and Keaton, and they came out like once every 4 years. You got a superhero, maybe.
Yeah, and it was exciting.
Yeah, and they weren't even that good in retrospect, but they still
blasphemy.
Don't even look at me that way. The only real Batman is Christopher Nolan's Batman, and hands down, I'll fight you on it.
I will join you in that fight.
I 2 against 1, Dave. 2
I
against 1.
loved that trilogy. It was a really good trilogy.
It was. Absolutely was.
You can't be Heath Ledger's the Joker. You just can't.
No,
you can't.
Unless you're Jack
like
Nicholson.
That is. I will. Them's fighting words. I'll fight you on that.
Yeah, they will.
Right here, right now. Let's go. Sweethearty, I will take you with.
You've been hitting the rum too hard.
To the gangplank with ye.
Well,
Yeah,
it's interesting they are bringing the guy that was the antagonist in the first film. They're bringing him back to help Arthur / Aquaman fight Black Manta. So that that could be interesting.
Yeah. So how did they reconcile? Oh, I'm really glad we're seeing Rex in this movie. It's great that the clone trooper got another chance.
Boba Fett? You bet, man.
Yeah.
Let's have a real Star Wars like DC crossover, and let's just do it.
Let's just. I'm doing it.
Time traveling Jedi or something.
Absolutely.
Although technically, I believe Star Wars is set in the past, so if they time traveled, it would be to their future.
Yeah, in a galaxy far, far away.
And yeah, a long, long time ago. Therefore, we could have futuristic time traveling Jedi. It could work.
Yeah, absolutely. Although Rex was not a Jedi, so.
Well, I want lightsabers in my next DC film. Okay,
all right,
I'm gonna make this happen.
Fine, you can have it.
It's like the multiverse.
Yeah,
I'm sure JJ will be available to direct it.
As long as they're lens flares, we can't go wrong.
Yeah, you won't be able to see past them. So I don't know. I guess the round table here. Like, so are we looking forward to this Aquaman movie? We're joking about maybe a little bit of superhero fatigue. Are we excited about Aquaman? Are we like, okay, another superhero? Like, where are we at with this? Let's kind of go around. Miles, let's start with you.
I am cautiously optimistic. The first Aquaman was amazing, and it did tremendous box office numbers. Hopefully, this one will as well. There's a bit of a dark cloud over it because of the whole Amber Heard thing, with Johnny Depp back in the summer. I don't know if that will keep ticket buyers away, moviegoers away, or whatever.
I think most people have like half forgotten about it.
Yeah.
I see people on social media chime in here and there, but
really, because I completely forgot about it until this moment.
Oh, the outrage mob will not let you forget when the time comes.
Miles, thanks a lot.
How dare
that's
you.
what I'm here for, Scott. That's what I'm here for.
Just to bring up the past. Bring up the past.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, but you're cautiously optimistic about it. You're like hopeful.
I'll wait to hear some reviews about it, whether I commit to spending money to go see it in the theater. If the reviews are decent, like with The Flash, I had high expectations for The Flash, and that was an okay movie and a dud at the box office. Now it's available for streaming. So that's what I might do with Aquaman is just wait to hear some reviews before I decide what to do to go see it. I'll see it eventually, but whether I spend the money to go see it in the theaters, to be determined.
Yeah. Dave, how about you? Where are you at with this?
I'll wait till it gets on HBO Max. I mean, I know we'll watch it. My wife loves Jason Momoa, so we'll watch it at some point. But yeah, I mean, I haven't even seen the newest Batman movie yet, so I'm not exactly pumped and amped to see it. But it's got to be it's got to be a really promising movie, or at least one from one of a big franchise that I like, for me to spend my hard-earned money to go to the theater anymore.
Sounds good. Chrissy, where are you at with this?
It's a superhero movie. I'm kind of over them. Like, I've been like, once I think like Infinity War and its conclusion like happened, I was like, okay, we've now bookmarked everything. It's all good, and now I'm done. Like, I was just mentally done. And I know that that was Marvel and not DC, but I really didn't get into DC unless it was like, Christopher Nolan's Batman, like The Joker, that movie I watched, loved.
Still haven't seen
But that, I don't think that was officially a DC movie, was it? I think that was just a movie.
Oh, we'll call it a
I
DC movie. It was in it's DC characters, DC proprietary stuff. So
Yeah,
Right.
but I didn't like really feel like it was in like the greater DC universe.
well,
of
even the
rest
DC
of
movies don't feel like they're in the greater DC universe.
Well, I think that might be one of the problems, is they're all so like disjointed, disconnected. Because like Marvel, you had like these movies and they like kind of like all linked up together,
Right.
and like you really felt like it was a coherent narrative that like was moving you forward throughout. And then you had like these tangential storylines and then started hooking up more and more as you went along. And this just kind of feels like, this person's writing their stuff over here. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any coherent anything, and like they can't figure out what they're doing. It's very directionless, and in some ways that might be a strength, because like you can watch each individual movie and really just need to watch that individual movie without having to take the Cliff Notes version of the movie you missed or didn't see or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not that excited about it.
So it's going to depend on what I'm doing over Christmas and what else is coming out, and whether Kiefer wants to go see it, as to whether I actually make the call. It's not watching it is definitely, it's going to be a visual experience. It's going to look good, but will the story carry it? I'm hopeful, but we'll see. That's kind of where I'm at with that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Miles, I hear you have an update on the writers and actors strike. Tell us a little bit about that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
Nothing new to report.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. On to the next thing.
I mean, honestly, I looked on before we met. I was looking, is there any new developments? And after 40 days, it's still at a standstill.
Wow.
So it's
Speaking of Jason Momoa, they pushed Dune back because of the writers' strike.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Curses.
Isn't that done already?
It's a good cause.
It's done. They just pushed the release date back. I'm not sure why, but it was blamed on that at least.
Yeah, because I was like, I thought that was done, but maybe like there's some sort of contractual thing within the back end mechanisms. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, so let's talk about the this top 10 list. Miles, tell us a little bit about this top 10 list.
So this is the top 10 list suggested by Collider. Actually, a red article, but I made it on Collider. And the 10 sci-fi movies that we should all see at least once. I think most of us have seen most of these movies. I'd be curious, what movies you guys have seen or not seen yet.
So I guess the question, why don't you run us down through the list 10 to 1, and we'll talk about each one as you mention it. And then I think at the end we'll say, is there any other movie that we feel should be on this list that's not on this list?
Okay. The first one, what made number 10 was Blade Runner. We actually reviewed that in a podcast a few years ago.
We did, and I actually watched it. So
The original Harrison Ford one, I assume.
yes,
Yeah.
Obviously.
yeah. I watched
never know.
that twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, that's a good
I've
one.
seen it.
I own that one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, I
So
think
I'll-
because of what it's saying and what it does is good.
Mm-hmm.
The next one on the list is Primer. I have not seen it. It's
Time travel
well,
movie. You should see that.
Yes, I'm gonna have to... Go ahead.
What
Christine.
year was this released in?
Early 2000s is my guess.
Really?
I don't
I-
recall this one
I
at
could,
all.
I could be wrong.
But I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
2004. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it was a fall release. I wouldn't have known anything if it was a fall release. Would have been neck deep in marching band.
So I watched it and I was
I know, nerd, right?
I was whelmed by it, not overwhelmed, not entirely underwhelmed, just whelmed. It was okay. It was okay. Nothing. Yeah, I'm actually surprised this one's on the list.
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
Yeah.
But didn't do much for you, Scott.
No, definitely not. I did watch it, but didn't do much for it. On my list, this would not have made my list.
No.
Okay.
What made number 8 on this list was Total Recall, the original one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I do remember this one. I think I saw it like once.
I probably watched it 2 or 3 times.
This
I
is
saw
the
it in
movie with
theaters.
the famous 3-breasted alien, right?
That's the scene I watched 50 times
Okay.
as a kid. Just kidding. Maybe not.
The
Maybe
thing
not.
that
Scott, we were legally adults
in
when
my
the movie
mind
came
about
out.
this movie. It's a 3-breasted alien.
Yeah. With Johnny Cab.
There we go.
Voiced by Robert Picardo.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Shove it up his ass.
And that movie was not in Robert Picardo's ass.
No.
Yar.
No, we didn't see his ass in that movie.
Which is a damn shame.
No, it certainly is. But you got to see the triple-breasted woman.
Well, I mean, if we had to pick,
I know, right? Number 7, Miles.
Number 7, I didn't know. I have never heard this movie. It's called Scanner with Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. Does this ring a bell with anybody?
it
No.
doesn't.
I watched
but
it.
I feel like I'm missing something by not having seen it because it's got Keanu Reeves and
Was this
See,
animated?
I think. Yeah. This is I think they have the title wrong. It's actually Scanner Darkly, and that's a movie that I did see.
Okay.
It's a sci-fi thriller.
Scanner
came out in
what?
2006. Scanner Darkly. It had Robert Downey Jr., Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, Woody Harrelson, Roy
Oh.
Cochrane. Like it had an all-star cast. It was well worth it.
Is that animated?
Yes.
I was gonna say it looks like it is.
Yeah.
oh, how did I not
Yeah.
watch this at the height of my anime? Like
Yeah. Well, not really anime, but animated.
Yeah,
it was
it's-
animated, not anime. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw that one.
I don't know how that's on there.
Number 6.
Number
So,
6.
let me back up. I can see Total Recall on this list because it's kind of a quintessential sci-fi film.
Yeah.
Scanner Darkly, maybe for its topic, but it wouldn't be in my top 10 list if we had it.
No.
Number 6?
Number 6, RoboCop, the original one.
Definitely.
Definitely saw
Yeah.
that one.
Yep. And I definitely like quintessential sci-fi. Yeah.
It was also a fun commentary on the 80s.
Yeah.
Just a lot of the commercialism and where they thought things in the future might go in that movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be on my list. There's another one called number 5. It's called Coherence. This came out in 2013.
No idea.
I've never heard of this movie. This sounds like it's an independent film or something.
I feel like this is
So
a niche list.
it's definitely a niche one. So as you look at, there's actually, yeah. So Coherence, 2013. I don't recognize the actors. This would definitely not be on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm wrong. Those listeners listening, if you think it should be on my list, convince me otherwise. Not mine.
I mean, like maybe if we watched it, we'd be like, "Oh, this definitely should be on the list." But I don't know. Edge of Tomorrow.
All right.
Number 4 is Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. I saw that on streaming. I really enjoyed this film.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one because you really question like what is reality in it, and I do like it because of it. It's a fantastic movie in my opinion.
Yeah, it's how Tom Cruise figures out how to make use of this time loop he is in to his advantage. So I heard there.
Go ahead.
Well, I heard there's talk of a sequel.
Okay. So, like, I like the movie. Would it be in my top 10? I don't know that I would place it there, but it certainly wasn't enjoyable. It was well done.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by this list. Is it a top 10 that you should see, or simply like this person's favorite sci-fi movies? Because none of them are striking me as like seminal works of like sci-fi.
So I feel
cinema.
like I agree, Chrissy. I feel like we're missing the premise for this list.
I feel like I am too, because
I think that there's more like I can see Arrival being on. Let's finish the list and let's talk about it.
Yeah, okay. We'll finish the list. Sorry, I'm ADHDing. Okay, keep me on track.
Number 3.
All right. Number 3. Sorry, I was going to put a link to the article in the chat, but my computer is freezing up. So if somebody else could read number 3.
Number 3 is Time Cop with Van Damme.
Yes, I love that one.
So
I too.
Fantastic 80s movie. It would not have made my top 10.
No,
despite me liking it. I mean, I like Van Damme as much as the next one, but
yeah. I would have put Universal Soldier above Time Cop as far as a sci-fi movie. If I'm looking at Van Damme,
we're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
but I did see it, and there. And number 2,
Gattaca.
Is Gattaca.
I did see that one. See, that's kind of like the kind of movie that I would expect on this list.
Yeah, this one doesn't surprise me being in this list. Wouldn't be in my top 10, but I can understand why it's here.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it makes sense to be on this list.
Yeah. And number 1?
Number 1 on this list was Arrival, and I have not seen this movie, but maybe I should.
Yeah, fairly recent one for the list.
It's a good movie.
It is. Like, I don't know. Again, I don't know that I would personally put this on like my top 10. But again, are we talking about movies that make a statement about something? Then maybe again, I think, Chrissy, what we were saying, we don't really have a good premise for this.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the article, and it says science fiction known as the literature of ideas typically centers around fantasy and futuristic concepts such as time travel, advanced technology, and space exploration. Through the years, the science fiction genre has had a major influence on society as well as filmmakers, blah, 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 blah. With iconic classics such as Invasion of the Body Snatchers and 2001: A Space Odyssey, it's easy to see why science fiction continues to be one of the most popular genres today. Like other film genres, some sci-fi films reign superior compared to others, but titles like Total Recall, RoboCop, and Arrival, starring Amy Adams, are worth seeing at least once. So, according to the fans of Reddit, these are science fiction movies that everyone should see at least once in their lifetime. So, I'm guessing it was like maybe some sort of voting process that people like went through. So, this is.
I didn't vote for him. No,
this is a convenience sample of Redditors. So this is according to whatever I guess population is standard for the subreddit of science fiction. I'm assuming most likely males ages, 30s, 40s.
Stop judging my list, Chrissy. These are good movies.
Judging your list, I'm simply saying that the typical population that would have responded would have been thus. Therefore, the convenience sample may not be representative of the entire population, and it is more reflective, possibly, of their own preferences as opposed to true, actual.
Well, I'm reading
goodness.
this. Yeah, I'm reading this, and I'm thinking the opening to this article where it's like, to me, this is saying, everyone knows all the big guys, like Kubrick, Lucas, Nolan, all the big directors who've made the big hit movies. But these are good movies in the genre that you should see at least once.
So maybe these are supposed to be like the lesser known
the lesser
good
knowns,
movies?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm looking at it being like,
So I
might put
it, except that if it's lesser known movies, I wouldn't put Blade Runner on here, or Total Recall for that matter.
Right, and I don't
and
think
probably not RoboCop.
Well,
the rest of them
maybe. But if you're taking your samples stuff from Reddit, you're right. It's people in that demographic where kids aren't watching that stuff because it's old. I mean, Blade Runner, a great movie, but it's a bit slow.
Right.
Right.
When it was made. So you're
and
not going to
2001.
Yeah, same with 2001. The cornerstone movies of the genre, in my opinion, but you're not going to get a young person or somebody new coming into this genre to pick that up or even really
right, because they're not naming like some of the real like big classic movies that you would expect on here.
2001's not even on here.
Yeah, 2001. Like none of the Star Wars movies are on there, and I'm like, but maybe it's
if you're talking about lesser known movies, I think one that I would put on that's maybe not as popular, but I think speaks to today is AI by Spielberg.
Spielberg
did that one. Just the message of it, and it's
favorite movies is Fifth Element. I love that.
Oh yeah, Fifth Element. Another one that I think should be on here because it was kind of niche in his time. I mean, it's Chris Rock at his best. Come on,
great movie.
It's not Chris Rock. It's Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. You're right.
A lot of people mix the two of them up, so it's okay. Well, maybe it's not, but
Deus Ex Machina.
Yes. Well, and there are some like sci-fi like animes that I put
Aeon
on there.
Flux.
Aeon Flux. Ghost in a Shell. That right there. Kitty Cat.
Mm-hmm. Even the live action Aeon Flux wasn't horrible.
You mean Ghost in the Shell?
No, I mean Aeon Flux.
Oh, I only ever saw the live action.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about an anime.
Yeah. No, so I was talking about the live action.
Oh yeah.
Ghost in the
you
Shell.
didn't realize that it was an anime as well. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, and I finally remember that pirate movie Harlock. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Great science. There's just some great science fiction movies.
So I think that AI would definitely be in my list. I would put The Matrix personally on it, but it's too blockbuster maybe for what this list is calling for.
Yeah.
And we're trying to like determine what made this list what it is. Certainly that would appeal, I would think, to a more current generation. But if we're talking about movies that you should see at least once, these seem to be things that you wouldn't necessarily gravitate to, but maybe should see.
Howard the Duck.
Right. No, honey, no.
What was that dang crystal one you made me watch?
Oh, Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah, that
absolutely.
One should be on here.
It should be on there most definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll say Dark Crystal, but that's not sci-fi. So yeah, it was in assignment, but I'm not sure that I understand it, given their answers.
So I think that part of it is it's a good list. It's an interesting it gets us talking, but our top 10 movies of all time, I don't think that I would avoid any of the blockbusters. And it would be interesting if we were to do a generational poll as to, what I would do. And Dave, you're about 10 years younger than me?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, so...
and then I'm 10 years younger than Dave?
Yes,
Your
yes,
take?
definitely. 10 years younger than Dave. And we could like do a poll like generation. I could ask
And then
Kiefer.
you have to get Kiefer, so you have your millennial, you have your Gen
Right.
Z.
Yeah, bring the Zoomers in. And
And Miles is just timeless, so I mean, you get
he is.
whatever
So
you get
like
in there.
He's
yeah,
like Merlin.
absolutely.
He actually ages backwards. He's gonna get
I
younger.
think it's Benjamin Button. Benjamin
If only.
Button.
Now,
Yeah.
to give you a little bit of perspective onto this, there's another article linked in the one that we were talking about here for the 13 most rewatchable sci-fi movies, and number 1, The Fifth Element, came into that one.
Okay.
See,
So-
see,
See, now I want to know that list. Maybe that list should be for another time.
Yeah,
it. You know what? We can definitely put a pin in this conversation and go through that list because, you know, I think my hunch is correct in that these might be what people think you should watch that you're not watching anymore.
Right.
So
Yeah.
because it's not like they put the first movie of Dune, which was a phenomenal adaptation of the book. I don't have that many complaints having read the book and watched the movie, which we know is rare. Of me not like sitting there
Right.
Twitch going, that's wrong. I accept the constraints of movie runtime and that some parts had to be cut. Like I understand that.
Right.
Like Tom Bombadil had to be cut from Lord of the Rings. We're just gonna accept that and move on with our lives.
Some of us are going to accept that.
You really wanted a naked man just running across the screen.
Oh, Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo.
That's exactly what we need more of in our lives.
We do.
what,
We
naked
need
men
Tom
running across the
Bombadil.
screen?
And
Yo,
naked Tom.
He was not naked. Where did you see that? Tolkien did not write him naked.
I'm exaggerating for comedic effect here.
Ah,
Anyways, so what were we talking
I
about?
gotta now. I have to go and listen to that book again. Thanks a lot, Chris.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Well, with that being said, we could talk about this forever. We got to get into our interview tonight, and as my understand, we have a Star Trek interview tonight. Is that right, Miles?
That
Other
is
movies
correct.
that did not make this on the list. Star Trek.
Yes.
movies.
Yeah, Star Trek movies, especially the J.J. Abrams movies.
I was going to say,
They're
especially
missing-
number 4.
It
with
was
Wade.
especially those 3 movies belong on this list. Watched at least once.
I hate you too.
Possibly multiple times.
Yes, yeah.
Well, the lady who I interviewed, she had nothing to do with the J.J. verse movies. In fact, she was the voice of the computer for Star Trek Prodigy, the starship protostar. Yeah, so I met her at shore leave. She was very accessible. She wasn't necessarily one of the guests I had permission to ask for interview, but I did anyways. Though I don't necessarily recommend always doing that, but she was accessible, so I did it, and her table was not too crazy, but she was also doing a lot of live performing. I mean, she was a great entertainer. I mean, she was doing some parodies on stage, so everybody loved her at the con. She was just the con darling that weekend.
Yeah.
But so I had a nice interview with her. She does other voice acting, and I've seen her on social media a bit because of the whole strike thing. I mean, I'm sort of following things going on with the Star Trek actors and with the strike, and she's come up too. So she's kind of relevant now too. But she was fantastic. She could have been nicer. She gave me a great interview, and
yeah.
I think anybody who's seen her at a con just said what a pleasure she is.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really took
All
her time
right,
with
so
the fans.
this is an interview from shore leave, and we hope you enjoy.
Sci-Fi fans, we're at Shore Leave 23, and we're hanging out with the lovely Ms. Bonnie Gordon. Sci-Fi fans who are enjoying Star Trek Prodigy have been enjoying Ms. Gordon lending her voice talents as a ship's computer. Ms. Gordon's IMDb resume is an impressive acting and voice acting in many well-known independent sci-fi fantasy and comedy projects. And Ms. Gordon, welcome and thank you for taking time to talk with us on the Sci-Fi Diner podcast.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And I saw your show yesterday morning, and you're a fantastic entertainer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So if you're at a con and Ms. Gordon's there, you got to see her show.
That's right.
You won't be disappointed.
I do a lot of nerdy comedy music.
You speak to us then.
Yes, my people.
And I'm just going to give a chance for you. You have some of your work on audio CDs. And so,
I do. And they're also available online, Amazon Music, Spotify, Bandcamp, iTunes. You just search Library Bards, that's the name of my comedy band. Mm-hmm. Or you can just search my name, Bonnie Gordon, for my solo album. But we're easy to find. If you just search my name or my band name, we're very easy to find. We have videos up on YouTube, some music videos. So, yeah, we have some fun stuff up.
She has some great stuff, folks. Check it out.
Thank you.
I don't want to dwell, but it'd be negligent not to mention that Paramount seems to be done with Star Trek Prodigy. However, there is still a tremendous effort by fans and Star Trek alumni trying to sound the voice that fans want to keep it going.
Yeah, well, it's so sad what happened with Prodigy. However, they're not stopping production on it. They're completing the production of season 2.
I heard that.
Which means, I believe the producers are very confident in pitching it to a different streaming service or getting it seen somehow. So I'm not panicking yet until they start panicking. So until I see them start to panic is when I'll panic.
Okay. Yeah.
It seems like they're very confident that it'll find another home, and because the fan base has been so supportive and incredible, and made so much noise, I have a feeling that hopefully it'll be. Someone will take notice and pick it up somewhere. It'll find a home. I think it'll find a home.
I'm glad you're optimistic. I know as an adult, I enjoy it. I know that a lot of kids enjoy it. A lot of parents love it because it's teaching good lessons to their children.
Absolutely. It's a show, it was definitely advertised as a kid's show, but really it's for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And what a great opportunity to introduce kids to Star Trek, as well as bring in older generations to watch with them, and it's something that everyone can enjoy together, and a family can enjoy the fandom together.
Absolutely.
Which is really special.
When you record, do you typically record with a cast or independently?
Well, Prodigy actually was one of those rare shows where we had to record the majority of all of it, especially season 1, during COVID.
Right.
So we were all remote. We weren't even in the studio. I was recording most of Prodigy in my bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we were all via Zoom. Everyone was all over the country, in some cases different countries, because some of the cast are international. So there was no way to really all get together because with COVID regulations, especially in California with the studios, if one person gets COVID, the entire production pretty much shuts down. So they were very strict about it. They slowly started opening the studios, but they're still very strict. Most everyone tunes in via Zoom, and there's just usually you and the audio engineer inside the studio at a time. So it used to be that there'd be a lot more people in recording sessions, but now it's very remote, which, it's kind of sad because I enjoy the energy of having everyone there but it's still been just a wonderful experience to be a part of, and what a great team we have. Everyone from the directors to the producers, they all tune in and are there, every step of the way with every piece of the production. So
awesome. Have you had a chance to meet any of your fellow cast members in person?
I have. I've met Riley quite a bit, the little girl who plays Rock Talk. She's so cute and she's so sweet. I have been fortunate enough to meet Kate Mulgrew.
Nice.
And she's been wonderful. She's of course she's always wonderful. So, and obviously I've gotten to meet some of the other cast who've done. I'm good dear friends with Gray Griffin, who's done some. She was the female Ferengi in I believe episode 7. I can't remember.
I remember the episode though.
Yeah, she was wonderful. And then there's a whole bunch of different friends of mine who have just popped into the episodes. Eric Balza has been in Star Trek Prodigy, and he's a friend of mine. So it's just really fun to see when I look at the credits to see some of my friends have come in and have played characters, and I'm like, hey, we're on Prodigy together.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
looking at your resume, you've been in front of the camera and behind the mic. Do you have a medium that you enjoy any more?
Well, I love doing voiceover because it gives you the freedom to not have to be a character based on your looks. Going in to do voiceover, I don't have to worry about wearing makeup or my hair or what I'm wearing. So it's really nice to be able to just have that freedom and just focus on giving a performance through of your vocals. I do love doing on-camera work, especially when it's a character that's fun or resonates with me. I'll be shooting a sci-fi series pilot in the fall. In November, so I'm really excited about that and looking forward to see where it goes.
So I was going to ask you about future projects. So
well, that was a good segue then.
Yes. Can you tell us a little more about that, or you have to keep it hush hush for now?
It's based off of a sci-fi novel called Manhattan Transfer. It's already up on IMDb, and there's quite a few Star Trek actors already attached to it. So the premise of the show is that the entire city of Manhattan gets abducted by aliens. So
sounds like fun.
Sounds like a good time, right?
I know, right?
I mean, you can't beat that.
And again, I mean, your live performance yesterday was fantastic.
Thank you.
So you're very good at that. I know a lot of the people at the con thought so too.
Thank you so much. I love doing music. I love, music has always been one of my first loves. I got my start singing jazz and I'm from Louisiana originally, so music's always been a huge part of my life and my culture and my upbringing. So being able to do songs and music that also celebrate the nerdy fandoms that I love is really special to me, and the fact that I'm able to perform it at cons and just provide another type of entertainment besides just being behind a table or doing a panel. I'm able to kind of do something different for people, which I love that I'm able to give them a variety of type of programming when I'm at a con.
Well, you're definitely multi-talented.
Thank you so much.
So it's you have many different ways to entertain the fans.
My voice is a little tired today, but
that's understandable. It's been a long weekend.
It's been a long weekend, but it's been 100% worth it. Shore Leave 43. This has been such a fun convention, and I love the small sci-fi conventions because it's the small sci-fi fantasy fan run cons, because it's like going to a family reunion instead of one of those big corporation type cons that you just get swallowed up in, and it's just too much of a crowd.
I totally get that. I've been coming to this con for 14 years, and there's people I see once or twice a year, but I still consider them close friends. And
absolutely,
so
yeah. It's like a family, and the people are always so nice, and cons like these, it's really special because it is fan run. Everyone's here to celebrate the fandoms and really support local artists and support the guests and the programming. So people actually take it seriously and really want to celebrate the fandoms and the franchises with you. And I feel that's super important, especially in with the way the world is right now, where people are just trying to be. Right now the world is very divided, and people are finding things to be negative about in so many places. And I feel like cons like these, where everyone comes together just to enjoy life and enjoy things that they love together, it's a beautiful thing.
And you're spreading some joy and laughter by being here.
Oh, good. Then achievement unlocked. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, yeah. Ms. Gordon, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And we are back. And before you go, we need to talk about this prize that has been sitting here for the past 2 episodes. No one has claimed. And we said, well, maybe it's the fact that people just don't collect plates anymore.
Maybe.
Right? Maybe. So we thought we are going to sweeten the pot just a little bit.
Yes.
Right?
Told you.
And,
no one wants your plate.
Yeah. So no one wants your plate. You're good. So we're gonna give a chance for you to get the plate. But we also have in my hands right here, for those of you on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. This is Penny Johnson right here from the Orville, not Star Trek, but we'll consider it a Star Trek episode. And then we also have from Enterprise, this young man. And these are autograph photos that we had picked up somewhere along the line. Miles, I think you picked them up in one of the
Yeah,
cons.
that was the far point before things with COVID exploded.
Yeah.
Wow.
So these are
From a
autographed.
happier time.
Yeah,
And more
so
A much
innocent
happier time.
yes, these
Yes.
are autographed photos. They're not made out to anyone, but they can be yours if you're interested. And Dave, what do you need to do to earn these photos and the plate?
You need to send us an email to get the plate, the Penny Johnson autograph photo, and the Anthony Montgomery autograph photo. You need to send an email to sci-fi diner podcast @gmail.com and just tell us that, hey, you want the free stuff. And the first...
I heard you have freebies, and I want it.
Yeah, I heard you got freebies. I want your stuff. And the first person to get the first email I get in the inbox wanting it, I'll be in touch with you and we'll send it out to you. So, also with that too, don't be afraid. Send us your feedback. What do you like about the show? Your thoughts on anything we're talking about? I'll read it on the air.
Obviously, more talking like pirates. To annoy Dave.
If anybody sends anything about,
if you send in an audio clip talking like a pirate, directed at Dave,
you might actually go right to spam for that one, but we'll see. I'll be fair.
You can't do that.
This is a show by sci-fi fans for sci-fi fans. We're all a great community. We want to hear your feedback. We want to get you involved with the program. That's how I got involved with it from the beginning. Was just talking to Scott in his classroom some mornings when I should have been working and had nothing better to do, and went over and started talking to him. So
I got roped in by his wife.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
No, that's fair enough.
Fair enough.
I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
I do. I distinctly remember having to explain to your wife that my professional email was not working, and I had to have her use my personal email, and I had to explain to her like where it came from because she asked where I came from, and then I very sheepishly told her it was the name of my World of Warcraft character, and then she was like, "Oh, you're a nerd. My husband's a nerd," and I was like, "Oh, awesome."
And the rest is history.
Yes. So thankfully, Scott allowed me to get my internship for my MSW.
There you go.
So thank you. Because had you not been, her husband had not been a giant nerd, I don't know that she would have accepted such an answer.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And don't forget to go visit us on YouTube, like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah.
Get these
you
numbers
can see
up.
me making faces at my cats while we talk.
Yes.
And us.
Are talking like a pirate,
Or giving Dave the finger for singing that Enterprise song again.
It's been a long
road. Note for the record, that was Scott and not me this time. But, yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we probably should take us out of the show, Miles, while
You
you
keep
wrap
it
it
up,
up
I'll
for
sing a
us.
sea shanty, just watch.
Oh.
All right. Till next time, good night and good luck.
We'll see ya.
Yar!
Go boldly.
Go boldly.
My new outro is yar.
Oh, my.
But I was thinking, by the next time we record, it'll probably be in early October.
Right.
And Chrissy was kind of suggesting, some kind of sci-fi horror movie maybe we could.
I'm just saying that technically, Rocky Horror Picture Show is sci-fi. Technically.
Maybe not that one.
I'm just saying.
You want a sci-fi? You want a sci-fi horror flick?
That'd be.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you want a sci-fi horror flick, I would recommend the movie Event Horizon. If you've never seen that.
Okay, all right. So no lie, Dave. I was just going to mention that one with Sam Neill.
Oh.
Because I rented that on VHS in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is great. It's like Black Hole, Event Horizon. I seriously fast forwarded half the way through and fast forwarding because I just couldn't watch it. It creeped me out so bad.
I love that movie.
All right.
Um,
I never saw it, so this will be,
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
oh man, are you seriously gonna put me through it again?
Oh, don't be a
Yar,
pussy.
yar,
Come
you
on.
landlubber. What are ya? A scurvy dog.
I am. I told Miles I'm going to do the entire podcast in the Talk Like a Pirate voice.
I
And
was
he-
actually
and he
quite
said-
tempted to say that I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I actually like have like a piratey shirt on and like one
Right.
earring quite purposely because it's Talk Like a
Right.
Pirate Day.
Right,
So,
absolutely. I'm really
I do it.
disappointed in my students that none of my students said anything.
I was actually gonna wear like this outfit to work because like I could make this like semi, professional looking. But there was like a really big like group of volunteers coming and like my boss was like taking pictures and filming today and I was like, I cannot show up to work semi dressed as a pirate and yeah. So
Well, the Captain Jack outfit doesn't help.
yar.
Welcome to the sci-fi galley.
Sci-Fi Cali, yes. We record on the eve of the Talk Like a Pirate Day. Yar! That's to be hearties.
Oh yeah.
I think listeners would be Flip, let's go to a different one tonight.
We can just leave like an intro. It's fine. Like we don't have to do the whole thing. We can just like play around with it.
Hey, Event Horizon is on Paramount Plus.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
do it.
I guess that's what
I'm
we're
like,
doing
come on.
then.
It's. I mean, if I had thought about it for Talk Like a Pirate Day, I would have suggested the one anime that takes place on like a space pirate ship to review because that one's pretty. It's like, what is it? The card? I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was really good though. It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Sounds good then.
Is anyone else seeing like Miles like become like a pixelated mess? Or is it just me?
Miles is always a pixelated mess.
I'm a pixelated hot mess. Are you kidding me?
It's the cats, which I am still delighted by. I mean, who wouldn't?
The only thing that would make him better, Chrissy, is if the cats had little pirate hats and eye patches
Yes, yar. You be right, Scott. You be
on.
right. Don't you be shaking your head, you landlubber. Dave. Me hearty. Come, Dave. Jim lad.
I don't think you could keep a straight face, Chrissy, through this.
What do you mean a straight face? I be a captain of this here ship, and I say we sail straight ahead.
I'm so happy I'm recording this.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You know who would be good to swab the deck? Dave.
I mean,
that's his
Dave,
job. He's a
it's
professional
literally
deck
his
swabber. Deck swabber, that's what it is.
I have
Yes,
robots.
The deck,
God.
I matey.
That's why I have robots.
Yeah,
Oh, you have pirate robots. That's
Pirate
awesome.
robots.
Tomorrow,
And
if
if they
you
don't
come in
do a
and
good
there's
job,
an
you
eye
kill
patch
them.
on one of them, you'll know why.
He's like, I'm just gonna recording this and just,
He's like,
Sit back and
I'm
love
just
it.
to be quiet, let him keep going.
Oh yeah, gold.
he's like,
All right. Well, very good. Let me pull up the show notes. All right.
yeah, what we be doing tonight? Where be sailing?
Well, it looks like we're going on our sci-fi world. We're going to look at Aquaman. The
I'll
first
see to the
trailer.
perfect night for speaking about the Aquaman. He
Yes.
too be a sailor.
Yes.
He swims in Davy Jogan's locker.
I haven't even started this show and I'm ready to punch out.
Sounds like a typical day for you.
Oh God.
You got a nerd with me, Dave. Come on.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I mean, I was listening to sea shanties at work today. I'm just saying.
Yes.
That once was a
Don't
ship.
you be
just see Pirates
scoffing
of
the
the
sea
Caribbean.
shanties. It is a long tradition of singing at sea in order to help everyone stay in the same rhythm while they're working. We're hoisting sails and rowing of oars. That's why they have those big drums in the Viking ships and in the Greek. I'm going to say the word wrong.
Exactly
it's not a
pirates.
trebuchet. It's not a tribune.
Trebuchet.
No, that's the thing that you launch stuff.
Well,
like
I'm
a
all about
catapult.
launching stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not the name of the Greek ship.
Hoist
It's like
the
a
sail.
tribune. Is that the right word? Big
know.
long ships with all the oars.
I don't know.
The Greeks had ancient Greeks.
Greek
You all know what I'm
slave-
talking about.
What was the
Greek
big
slave
ship
workout machines? Is that the?
No.
That's
Do
who
you
wrote
not
them.
know your history?
Hey, Greek history.
Greek history. Very important that you know
long
it.
ships with lots of oars with people rowing. What were they
Listen, everything before 1776 was a
What?
mistake.
They are not paddle boats.
That's what you think. History is
Possibly a
lying
mistake
to you.
because
It's
Magna
all a conspiracy
Carta gave us
theory.
the legal standing for what we needed in order to have a revolution in the first place. So you can't tell me that everything before 1776 was a mistake because our founding was based on that document. Thank you.
It was a mistake.
There's a reason why that document sits in the dome, underneath the dome of our capital.
Yep.
Know your history. Very important.
Yes.
Yes. Yar.
Yeah.
I hear our school board is allowing people. The one mom is getting copies to give to all our 8th graders.
Yep.
Of the Magna Carta?
No.
Good.
No.
Of the Constitution.
Of the Constitution.
The document relevant to today.
Yeah.
I will go on my Magna Carta rant another time. Today is Stop Being a Pirate, and therefore I only care about the Queen's writ that allows me to pirate the Spanish.
To pirate the Spanish.
That's what the privateers were. It was legal piracy. Do not know Renaissance history. It's important.
Hey, all I know is that the Somalis know it.
Yeah, that's today. I don't know how to talk like a Somali pirate.
We rape and we pillage and we do what we please. We get all that we want for free. We'll kick your ass and rape your lass, Somalian pirates we.
But then he breaks one out.
Dave finally gets into the spirit of talking like a pirate.
Yes.
South Park taught me that one.
Well, at least they're good for something.
What do you do with the drunken sailor early in the morning?
Well, let's sail this ship into a record here.
We've already been.
It's getting late.
All right.
I'm not even going to follow that up with my normal plugs either now. Thank you.
All right. Plug the leak.
That's beautiful.
All right. Well, hey, it was fun. So next 2 weeks from now, we're watching Event Horizon. Is that correct?
Yes, because it's going to be October, and we need to have a scary sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. I still think we should have Rocky Horror Picture Show, but these guys won't go for it. So Event Horizon it is.
Only if we dress up for that episode.
Oh, hell.
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
No. No. Miles, brother, I'm right with you. Hell to the no.
I will have the bright red lipstick. Just.
Me too.
Jesus.
We'll sing the songs.
Who are you gonna play, Chrissy?
You know, I'm not sure yet, but I'll figure it out.
I have never watched that ever.
You do realize that because you admitted this, we now have to watch it, and you have to watch it in your underwear.
Nah.
Oh man.
I do not make the rules. Those are the rules, sir.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants that. My wife doesn't even want that. I don't want that. Nobody wants that.
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to gain viewers and subscribers, not drive them away.
The rules are, if you haven't seen it and you're a Rocky Horror Picture virgin, you must watch it in your underwear. That's just how it is.
You have to throw toilet paper and toast at the screen.
That is also true. You are encouraged to throw things at the screen.
I'm sorry. Post-pandemic, I am not wasting good shit paper throwing it at a screen.
You're like,
I'm gonna need that someday.
Miles, how many times have you seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
2 or 3 times.
I am with you, Dave. I've only ever seen clips.
Oh, so we have both
And
virgins
pictures.
here.
But
Okay.
no, I will not sit in my underwear with Dave watching.
No.
But now you have
That's a horrible mental image.
No.
As I said, I'm with Dave in this. I take a
Well,
stand
it is
against
Halloween
that
and it's a
tradition.
horror show, so
Yeah, it'll be a horror show, right? That'll
I-
shut down the diner.
I will admit
Yeah,
I've
that's
only
it.
seen it one time, and I watched it in college with my roommate because originally we were supposed to go. I forget. I think like it ended up getting rained out, but we were supposed to go to like I want to say like a drive-in movie or whatever and watch it. And she was like, "Chrissy, I'm not going to have you be like subjected to this." A virgin because they will make you strip to your underwear and we're not doing that. So we're going to we're going to sit here and we're going to watch it in our dorm room so that you know what's going on and you can answer the questions and know what to do so that they don't like harass you while you watch it at this live event. And so I said, okay, Ray, we're going to sit here and watch it. I did not watch it in my underwear. I just watched it like a normal person would watch a movie.
Wait. You didn't watch it and you're trying to get Dave and I to do this?
Why do you want to see us in our underwear? That's just weird.
I don't want to see nothing.
That's just creepy.
No, thank you. I'm just saying that it's like if you make the mistake of telling people that, they will be like, up. We all know what happens to virgins here. That you gotta strip. That's just the rules. So
I'll never admit that to anyone again then.
exactly. See, the more you know. I have now educated you on how to talk to the pirate, how to survive while
now people
sassy.
will start harassing you, Dave.
Hey,
And now-
if it gets that listener feedback, bring it on. I don't care.
Welcome. Oh, goodness gracious.
All right, guys.